Don't we just love peaches? Peaches are always so great and delicious. Hello friends and viewers, I'm James Alton Thomas, and today we're going to learn how to can peaches. It's simple, it's an easy process, and for so many of you I hear, oh, I don't know how to do it, I can't do it, it's really hard. Well, I'm here to share with you that canning peaches is really easy. But before we get started, we need to talk about just a few things you're going to need in order to get started. Of course, you're going to need some beautiful peaches, and I got these from my friends at Soon's Orchard in New Hampton, New York. Some other things you're going to need are the jars that you're going to be using for your peaches. And here we have the Ball canning jar. This is a 1-pint jar, and we'll be using this in order to can our peaches. We'll also be using a water bath technique, and what you have here is a pot of water, and inside this pot of water we have a rack. A rack is really important that you have inside this water because you don't want the bottles touching the bottom. So this is a rack that I took out of another pot that I had, and that's just going to go here on the bottom of the unit so that when we take our jars and place them inside, it's going to allow the bottoms not to touch the bottom of the pot, so it'll prevent the bottom of the jar from cracking and breaking. What the process is when we do home canning is that we're going to be doing a raw pack or a cold pack technique today. I've gone ahead and I've already blanched all of my peaches, and I've scored them on the bottom with an X. And once we score them with an X, what we can do is we blanch them for 30 seconds to 1 minute, and then we're going to take them and we're just going to slightly and gently remove the skins. When you score it on the bottom and blanch it, it makes it so easy to peel the skins right off the surface of your peach. So it's the perfect way to do it. So once we have all of our peaches cleaned and ready, we're going to cut them in half. We're going to remove the fibrous inside, right inside the cavity, and we're going to remove the pit. We're going to take those halves of peaches and we're going to put them inside one of these jars here, facing down with the cavity side going towards the bottom. We're going to fill that up just to this line here, and then we'll fill the rest of the container with our hot liquid. Once that's done and completed, we'll take our lids and we'll screw it on, and then we'll take it and put it in our water bath where we'll leave it for 25 minutes. What you're going to find is that this is a very simple and easy way to preserve the taste and to have the opportunity to enjoy these beautiful fresh peaches in the dead of winter, January, February, and March. You'll be able to come back and think about all the wonderful ideas of summer and what it was like. So we'll be right back to learn more about canning peaches. Hi there, so what I want to do now is I want to show you how you assemble your canned peaches to get them ready for the hot water bath. And so what we've done is we've gone ahead and we've peeled our peaches. I highly recommend that you do not want to blanch them and then let them sit. If you're going to blanch them, you need to move to the skinning them, slicing them, and continuing with the process straight away. When you do the blanching in advance, what will often happen is that you will have your peaches turn brown and you end up taking off a lot more of than you intend to. So we have our peaches finished. We have our hot liquid syrup that we have here, which is basically just water and sugar combined together. And then we have our lids that are in a warm water solution, not a boiling water solution. And the reason we need to put them in this solution is that if you'll notice on this lid, there is this gasket, which is this brownish color. That's what's going to create the seal on the top of this jar. So we need to make sure that that is heated beforehand, so we put that into simmering hot water. Now this method is called the cold pack method. Cold pack is when you are not cooking or heating up your peaches to begin with, and you've actually just starting with them cold. So these jars have been washed and sterilized for 10 minutes in a boiling water bath. And what we want to do is just put our peaches in face down inside this jar, leaving head space of just about a ½ inch at the top. We're going to put our peaches in individually into the container and fill it up completely until you have just about a ½ inch away from the top. Then you want to take your hot liquid, and we're going to put this in this container just to make sure that we don't hurt or burn ourselves. We just want to fill the liquid up inside till it goes right to the top. And what happens in the boiling water canning bath is that there's a remainder of air that's left inside this container. Well, what happens is as the water boils in the 25 minutes, it evacuates the air, and this seal actually works to allow the air that's inside the container to evacuate, and then that creates your vacuum seal. I ran and got a paper towel because it's really important that before you put your lid on, you want to wipe that off completely and clearly. And we're going to put that back in the hot water here and just take it out again. Set that right on top. When you do your canning, you want to take your ring, you want to push down with your finger, screw it on. You screw it on and then you just give it one more quarter turn. And that's all. This is now ready for the hot water bath. And as soon as we finish the rest of these 5 jars, we'll be putting it into the water bath. We'll be processing it for 25 minutes, and after 25 minutes, we'll wait to listen for the ping. We'll pour jars into a boiling water bath, and you can tell that the water is just getting ready to boil as you see the tiny bubbles coming here around the edge. It's not a full rapid boil. You don't want it to be a really high, hard, rapid boil. You want it to be a really slow, soft boil. So we have our 5 jars in here. The boiling process just started. So what we are going to do is we're going to set our timer. We're going to time it now for 25 minutes. And 25 minutes from now, we're going to take them out of the boiling water bath and we'll wait for them to seal, and you'll be able to hear the ping. So we'll be right back to check that.
Hello there and welcome back. I wanted to share with you we are all finished with our canning process and the peaches are now done. They're a beautiful color. We have and used fresh, Keep Fresh in it. It's an ascorbic acid that helps it keep from turning brown. And so you can see the peaches are done. They're a beautiful pink color in the syrup that we did. It's a medium syrup that we used for these, so it's not too heavy. Something that you want to keep in mind is that whenever you are doing your canning process, while you're water bathing, you want to make sure that you understand your altitude that you have on your property. Wherever you live is going to determine your processing time. Generally, when we did these peaches at our altitude, which is under 1,000 feet, it required 25 minutes. As the altitude goes up, your timing is going to increase. Something else that's important is oftentimes when you pull your jars out of your canner and you have hard water, you're going to have a calcium film or a calcium deposit on this. I recommend just using white distilled vinegar on a paper towel or on a rag, and you can just use that to clean up and wipe off, and what you're going to have are these beautiful jars left over. Another thing that's really important that people often forget about is that when you are doing your canning, you want to make sure that when the process is all finished, you want to remove the lids. It's really important that this ring lid seal be removed, because if you leave it on, what can happen is it can rust around the edges because there is condensation left in there, and what that can do is it can actually cause your seal to break. So it's really important that if you're gift giving or when you're finished that you remove these and leave this intact here. Another thing that I wanted to point out to you is that when you are thinking about canning and you need your recipes, your Ball Guide to Home Food Preservation is a really important guideline. This has been approved. It is telling you exactly the processing techniques that you need to use in order to do the item that you're doing. So this, and there are many other publications out, but if you are going to be doing any home canning, just know that it's really easy and really simple, and I hope you'll come back and join me again as we learn how to do more canning and learn how to preserve the bounty.